Hi, I'm Clinton Banfield. Our family and I live in Cape Town on the western seaboard. To be able to wake up and take in the scenery every day is an absolute pleasure. We probably have the best views of Table Mountain. There's some really amazing suburbs in our neighborhood. There's Milnerton, which is a central hub close to the city. There's some beautiful homes situated along the canal, which give you a breathtaking view of Table Mountain. A little bit further along the canal, you'll find Milnerton Golf Club, which is a great place to unwind with your mates. Then we have Blouberg, which is world-renowned for its beaches, where you'll often see kite surfers taking full advantage of the wind. To top it off, there's a great variety of family restaurants in the area, like Blue Peter, where people love to meet. The Bayside Mall is a landmark in Tableview, giving you an all-round retail experience in a relaxed and convenient environment. As a family, we've chosen to live in Atlantic Beach Golf Estate in Melkbosstrand. Our suburb is so chilled, it really gives you this constant holiday feel. We've lived here for 2 years and we've really enjoyed the laid-back lifestyle, and this is our neighborhood.
Show, a program where we showcase upcoming developments, talk investments, and how you can find yourself taking a dip in the pool at the lovely 32 Ballyclare. My name is Chad and I'll be your host, and today we are joined by Theo Joandinas, who is the Head of Developments at Tyson Properties. Theo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for asking. Thank you.
Theo, it's a pleasure to have you on. I'm really keen to learn more about 32 Ballyclare. I'd like to start off though with just asking you to tell me a bit about yourself, tell me about your team, and tell me what a potential buyer can expect if they choose to purchase through Tyson Properties.
Okay, so with our specific developments, we start them at grassroots level. So what happens in the process, which can take a year to 2 years, the developer approaches the company and says he has a piece of land that he'd like to develop. So from the onset, what I do is I'll go through the zoning with him. We go through the amount of units that he can put, if it's, maybe 50 units a hectare. And once the zoning process is done, and that can take 6 months, if not longer, we then know exactly the number that we built on that piece of ground. we then go to an architect. I then say to him or her, this is what the marketplace can withstand in that area in terms of costing, in terms of the development, in terms of going to market at the right price. So jointly, we sit down and design something that is very affordable and very sellable. So with sales in that area, be it Bryanston, as in this case, we have to take in account of what is being built in the area. And currently, we're looking at 17,500 a square. So the developer knows he costs his unit at that price. Once the plans are passed and approved, we then go to the next level. And if the developer is not a builder, we find a builder that is registered and has the proper credentials and can build. In that phase, all of us get involved, particularly me, with the finishing schedules, because the developer may not know the difference or the costing between, say, a SMEG and a D5 stove, for want of a name, or a specific tile. So we, mainly myself, help him choose the right finishing schedules for that unit at the right cost. I mean, it's no good building a unit and then saying, well, now you've got 300,000 to fit it with baths and SMEG appliances, and then you're out of kilt in terms of your pricing. So you have to gel everything. So when you have when you hand over what I call you retail ready, everything is in place. Okay, so then now we have everything. The question is, the developer always asks, are we going to do pre-sales or are we going to build immediately? And that is the issue that I'm quite firm about. Building immediately gives you buyer's confidence, because a person that's buying needs timelines. They need to see that bricks are being cast, that he can walk on site and say, well, in 9 months to a year, I can get the keys to my property. I don't need to wait for a 60% sellout rate before they start building, which could take, in the present economy, another year or two. So what the builder, I always request the developer to do is start with a show unit. It's quite important, because the buyer then can walk on site and see the finished unit, and invariably I furnish that unit. That's a differential with Tyson. We like to furnish the unit so you can see that a double bed fits into a bedroom. You can see the spacing. You can see exactly what it is. So it's a complete unit. The buyer walks in and walks around and has a look at the finishings, sees what the build quality is like, see the kitchen cupboards, which are very important. In Ballyclare specifically, we have used Easy Life, which is a fantastic product. It's a 10-year warranty, soft close, but it's quality. So the buyer now sees what he's buying. There's no hidden surprises. There's no, well, I'll check you in 10 months' time and see what it is and see what, I didn't expect the bedroom to be so small, or I didn't expect this or that. He knows exactly what it is, he or she. And a normal scenario is in developments, they then sign an OTP, which is produced by an attorney, which is allocated by the developer, and they pay a deposit, and that money is put in trust. I think it's at 7.9%. So the money is always safe. If something happens to the developer or the development, or God forbid it folds, the client always has recourse to his money that he's paid in. And then they apply for a bond. And again, the banks are quite stringent with something that's not come out the ground. They like to walk on site and see the value of the property they're giving the applicant. So if it's, in Ballyclare's case, 2.8 million, they see value, they see the deposits paid, and they grant the bond. And off we go. We then wait our period. Yeah.
So you've given us a lot of very, very interesting information here, and I'd like to try and unpack it piece by piece. You'd mentioned there that the developers approach you. Is there a specific criteria that you vet these developers against? Are you always using the same developers, or can any developer come up to you and say, look, this is the idea we've got, and then from there you start vetting these developers?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So because developers have the land and they see value in the land, they're pretty much uncertain as to what exposure, what they can build. So I personally specialize in small properties. When I say small urban, I'm talking about between 2,000 and 5,500 that can withstand 8, 9 units to 20 units. And obviously sectional title, sometimes bottom plan, but sectional title is preference. And that developer, if he or she has a track record of building before, they know exactly where they're going and what their costs are. But often is the case is they don't have that track record. They have never built before, but they're very keen to put something on that urban that can sell at market value. And that's obviously where I get involved and give them guidance. And obviously with the attorneys, they get all the information that they need to sell what they're putting up there.
Okay. I also wanted to ask, it seems like once we've been speaking about this development, that Tyson is a full service real estate agency in terms of not only do you take quite a heavy hand in what kind of developments you're letting on, which must speak about the kind of quality you accept, but also it looks like you'll take a potential customer through finding a development that's right for them or finding a property that's right for them, as well as finding the correct financing, the correct bond. Is that correct?
You see, that is the most important thing. Nothing has an end game until it is sold. Until a sale has taken place, you have nothing. The developer is sitting with a piece of land, he's sitting with a property, he's sitting with a build quality, which is great, but it may well be over market value. He may well say, why is this not selling? What is the issue here? And pricing is important. So that is paramount in this development, or any development. You take that development on and you absolutely hone that price to the area and to what the buyer will accept. Because the buyers that come through your doors are very knowledgeable. They know everything about every development in front of them, behind them, around the corner, in the area within 5Ks. And I say to them, well, why are you buying a development? And the answers are, they want something squeaky clean, clinically clean. They want something that is devoid of transfer fees, so they have a saving. And it's brand new. So if they want to push out a wall to make the bedroom slightly bigger or smaller, put a study in it, the developers that I work with will do that. They'll say, fine, you want a study made into a baby room? No problem. It may cost a few $1,000 more, it may cost you nothing. But when a developer is very happy to assist the buyer, then we have a happy salad mix, I think. It's great. It works well.
Can you introduce us to 32 Ballyclare? Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Tell us how many units are available, how many units are there in total?
Okay, so 32 Ballyclare is, there were 9 units there, and they almost look freestanding. They have, it's down a panhandle, so security is very good. It has views over Santon, so it looks into Nelson Mandela Square. All the units are identical, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a double garage. The fittings in the kitchen are SMEG, which they're superb, including the prep bowl SMEG, the oven SMEG, the hob SMEG, and again it has easy light kitchens fitted. So the kitchen is really well built. What is interesting is at this price level, it's not often you find a development with a double garage. They're normally carports. The double garage is important because it allows a lot of space. So bicycles, golf clubs, anything that you want to store can go into a double garage. The extent of this size is 174 squares. And the kitchen, the lounge, and the living room are open plan, so they flow out onto a balcony, which flows out onto a garden of about 22 square meters, which has a braai area and it's gas. There is in the unit there is a heater, built-in fireplace, which is gas, and the SMEG appliances are gas. The build quality is superb. It really is. I've seen quite a few that are not so good, and I can tell you that it's easy to sell something when the quality is as good as 32 Ballyclare.
I think between the heater, that gas fireplace in the winter, and the potential to build your own gym in the garages, you've got everybody sold already.
Correct. And
what other amenities are available?
So there's no pool or any clubhouse or anything, because what we find when we're in that area, you have 3 or 4 gyms within 5 kilometers. And in order to alleviate excessive levies, you keep the costs down. You don't put a gym in-house and you don't put a swimming pool in-house. The only thing that is paramount in this specific development is the fact that it has very good security. So the security is 24-hour manned guardhouse, gatehouse, and with cameras, access control. And you'll find that I think in every development, people do not skimp on security. And that is probably another success story of this development, is it sold out a month before transfer. Now, interesting enough, you ask how many units have I got left? I only got 1. And I had to beg the owner who owned it, who wanted to keep it as an investment, if I could take it back and put it into sales, because ostensibly that development was done. It was sold out. But the demand exceeded itself. And I spoke to Tim and he kindly gave me his own unit to sell, which is the one I have left, unit 8.
What is the price of this development?
The price of this is 2,800,000.
2,800,000. Sorry, Theo, you broke up there. You said 2,800,000. Am I correct?
Yes, 2.8 million.
Okay, and I wanted to ask, in terms of investments, is this still a development you'd look at if you wanted to take it down the investment route?
Okay, so all right, that's a whole new analogy. Investments, as opposed buying to rent as opposed to buying to live, are totally different. So the investor always invariably looks at a 1-bedroom unit, possibly 2-bedroom unit, where his ROI, his return on investment, would perhaps cover his bond in terms of the rental. In this case, I should imagine if you were going to rent this unit out, you could get 22 to 25,000 a month as an investment. It's not ideal because it is family orientated. So, and what happens in this area, all the units, all the owners are owner-occupier, which makes a strong body corporate. They live there, they determine the success of the development and any future changes that may happen in the body corporate rules. So in this development, I would say that it is definitely a family-orientated person would buy it and live in it.
Well, there you have it, folks. On that note, I think we should have a quick break, and we will be right back. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Developer Show. My name is Chad and I'll be your host. And if you're just joining us, we are here with Theo Joannidis from Tyson Properties. And Theo is talking to us about their latest development, 32 Ballyclare. Theo, just before we took a break, we were talking about how this development is very family orientated and the benefits that come with developments that are owned by the same people who are living there. Could you tell me basically who else does this development appeal to, or what kind of people does this development target?
Okay, so in terms of the location, it has access to great schools. I mean, it's in Ballyclare Drive. There are great schools in Bryanston. So a young couple starting out with a child in preschool or normal school would find this location ideal. The professional person that may not have had a family started that lives in Sandton, working in Sandton Rivonia, would also find it very accessible because of the location, easy access. So you're not stuck in major traffic if you're driving from Sandton Centre into Bryanston. You know the back roads to take. So I think when somebody looks at a development, one of the most important things is accessibility and lifestyle. So the accessibility to where they work, and the existing lifestyle, if it be it Bryanston Golf Course or the Virgin Active in Bryanston. So they need to be within a couple of minutes. Or their churches, I mean, there are fantastic churches in the area. So maybe that is an important factor when a young couple or family look at a development. And then on the other side of it, you have a situation where those massive houses in Bryanston, people that are perhaps downscaling or their children have left home, don't want the upkeep of a massive pool and a garden and security aspects. They downscale into something like this. That has also been very prevalent in terms of inquiries that people say, well, I want security and I want something that has absolutely no upkeep, no maintenance, lock up and go, so to speak.
Theo, we've seen a trend with developers where they try and keep the amenities within quite a reasonable level so that they can keep the levies low. How important is it to have low levies in the current market?
Well, that is actually vital because every buck counts, and in the present economy and what's going through the world pandemic with COVID, you count your pennies and you make sure that they're spent in the right area. To pay excessive levies for something that you're not really going to utilize. I mean, I have seen large developments with gyms that have opened up in the development, and you go back three to 6 months later, the gyms, there are still plastic wrap over the running machines. And you say to yourself, well, why bother? Why are you paying for something that you're not going to utilize? So it's very, you have to be quite clever in saying to the purchaser and the owner, you pay for what you require, and that's it. You're only putting what you need.
Absolutely. I also want to speak to you about investments. We touched on it briefly before the break. And what advice would you give to a buyer looking to invest in property today?
Okay, so a buyer that's looking to invest in a property, they look to see what rental return that they can obtain. The return on investment, the ROI of that specific development in that specific area. So the first thing they look at is location. And Rosebank has been very busy, and as Mid-Sandton, because of the location to the Gautrain. It's been very important for an investor buyer who lives perhaps outside the country to know that his or her unit can easily be accessed with the Gautrain and transport. So it's a big bonus and a big plus when you're looking to buy a unit. Then the next thing to look at is the size of the unit and obviously the pricing. So the first to go are studio apartments and one-bedroom apartments, because they are invariably priced very well, and they are easily obtained. There are many tenants in that area, single people, single professionals, who will quite gladly pay a decent rent for a decent place in a good area.
Also, I wanted to talk, still on the vein of investments, is what makes a development a better choice over purchasing a normal freestanding property?
Obviously, the development the choice there is location and access to amenities and cost savings. So if you're looking at a development in as I say, in Rosebank specifically, you'd see that it has access to shopping centres, it has access to gyms, it is close to the Gautrain, within walking distance to restaurants and pubs. So, and then obviously the price, what it is being sold at, compared to a bigger place that is freestanding in the same area. And the investor who's just looking to buy to get his return investment will do his homework and look at everything in that area, as I say, within possibly 5 Ks, and say it'll give him his best return with the least amount of hassle. And that's what they do.
Now, in terms of developments that Tyson has currently, is this the only one or the last one that you've got on the books, or are there other ones coming up? Have you got other ones in the market already?
Oh, no. In terms of Tyson, we have currently, I have 8 different developments in different areas, different locations.
Has COVID affected the timelines on the construction of these projects?
It has indeed. Well, not so much on the construction, because once they have permits to start to work, they can steam ahead and continue to get to the delivery date. What COVID has done has caused a bottleneck with municipal services, such as getting plans passed, getting water meters put in, or getting the municipality to do site inspections. So because the bottleneck is with the red tape in terms of getting it done prior to building. Once everything has been passed, as I say, the plans, and the builder has the developer has his construction team able to move on site, then it's fine. But it's to get to that phase, and that COVID has done that. That is delayed, or because they open one day, then they close, and it's a waiting game to see when the documents will be processed.
So right now, patience is key.
Yeah, correct.
Now, 32 Ballyclare, I want to ask you, what is your favorite feature?
I think the simplicity and the cleanliness of the development, the fact that you drive straight into your double garage, you go through from your double garage into a scullery, which is separate from the kitchen, as opposed to going into the main door if you have parcels or carrying prams, and the fact that it is very quiet. It is unbelievably quiet. Down the panhandle, there's no traffic noise. You wouldn't say that you're in the heart of Bryanston. It is superb. And everybody comments, they say, gosh, this is amazing. It is where we're standing here. It's like we're in the bush type of thing. The other thing I like about it is its location. It is, as I say, in the heart of Bryanston. You can access anything you want, from shopping centre to gym. And the fact that it's only 9 units. It's small and everybody knows everybody, so it increases your security aspect.
Now, Tyson has had a long-standing relationship with private property, and can you speak to me about how that's helped your marketing of developments?
Okay, so the marketing aspect is very important, and as you say, Tyson have had a long-standing relationship. And COVID have assisted that dramatically, because people now sit on the internet, they go through what's available, they compare everything, and private property has been the go-to person at the moment for everything. They sit at home, they open their laptop, and they see what is available. And it has helped. The inquiries are coming through, the leads are coming through, interest is there, as opposed to somebody that's driving around and seeing a for sale signboard and trying to find, that doesn't work anymore.
By the time you pass that for sale sign, you've already forgotten the number.
Absolutely, you forgot it. You've got to photograph it with your cell phone, then you forget about it. Sitting now in your home, place of business or your home, and looking what's available in the market. And you can also compare, because you've got your laptop open in front of you, you can see what else is available. So when the buyer gets to you, they've made a conscious decision that is what they want to see or have more information about. So yes, it's definitely been an upswing.
Absolutely. Theo, thank you so much for taking some time out to join us. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. I've definitely enjoyed learning about 32 Ballyclare and also speaking around investments. Yeah. For you at home, thank you very much for logging in and taking this journey with us. If you have any questions for our next podcast, please drop them in the comments. I'm going to be going through your questions and your comments personally. And I cannot wait to see you this time tomorrow, where we will be speaking to Bradley Fleming from Taito Developments about the amazing new offer. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Hi, I'm Khumutsapoy, and I'm an entrepreneur from Soweto. Soweto's come a long way, from a small township to a mini city of its own. Soweto's got some really, really nice suburbs, like Deep Kloof Extension, but the locals call it Deep Kloof Expensive. Orlando is known as the suburb that had the first brick houses built in Soweto. Orlando Stadium for its iconic games between Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates. And most importantly, Vilakazi Street, where Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu resided. To the west of Soweto, you find suburbs of Dobsonville and Protea. These two suburbs are actually very cosmopolitan, fresh, young, and very new. Right next door to Soweto, we have our neighboring suburb, which is Eldorado Park.
For a little adventure and a little fun, Soweto's got so many night spots, from the News Cafe at Mponya Mall, to your Vilagazi streets at Kumzi's, to just chilling at Chafpozi just between the towers and having a simple braai vleis, chisanyama. Something very close to my heart is actually seeing people move back into Soweto, growing businesses, remodeling homes. It merely says to us that Soweto is a growing city. There's way more to this place than what we think. Soweto needs to be discovered daily. I'm so proud to call Soweto my home, and this is my neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Clifton Smithers. I live in Ballito, where my partners and I run a business called Union 3. As a family, we chose to move here about 6 years ago. What attracted us to the area was the safe and relaxed lifestyle of the North Coast. We're surrounded by so much natural beauty, and we love that it's so casual. It's just not as intense as a busy city. In fact, that's one of the main reasons there's so many people moving into the area. There's some amazing lifestyle estates out here. We've got St. Barley, Bretonwood Estate, and Zimbiti, to name a few. The Ballito Lifestyle Centre caters to everyone's needs. There's also some smaller commercial centres like Tiffany's in Salt Rock. There's some excellent restaurants to choose from, and there's a really wide variety of activities on offer. From mountain biking out on the trails to surfing at any one of the beaches, there really is something for everyone. This quiet little town really comes alive over the weekend. The live concerts in the farmers market at the Lychee Orchard is very popular. With the new international airport just 15 minutes down the road and the unmatched lifestyle that this place offers, it's no wonder that the North Coast is the fastest growing town in South Africa. My family and I absolutely love it here, and this is our neighborhood.